Well, good afternoon to you again. Today's Thursday. The old mizzle's gone a bit now, and it's looking a bit clearer out there now. Warm still, but then there we are. We've got to put up with these things. And we've had a nice drop of rain. I got to say that. Done good for my allotment and all. Now, I bet one or two of you will notice that my little eyebrows here have been tarted up a little bit. I haven't been out in no eyebrow shop or nothing. I just, and of course my hair, you can see the bit there now. I ain't got a lot, but Mrs. reckoned I had more hair on my eyebrows than I did on top of my head. So she fixed her up there a bit last night at one of these machines and razored over the top of it, and she said try and smarten me up a little bit. Well, I don't know what sort of job she's going to do, but she's done a cracking job. I'm really delighted. So thank you very much. Now I hope you're all alright. Staying safe. We're coming in, look, middle of August now. My gosh. Where's the time going? But it'll be alright. Keep saying it, I know, but it'll be alright. Now this year one today is by Liz Arman. I was reading this here article in the paper a few weeks ago back long that said, tune into the Earth's energies, hug a tree and feel the Earth throb. I said, Alfred, what a pile of foolishness that is. What do they think we to believe such things? I don't know, he said. What do you think, Sarah Ann? Our lungs are what to keep us going. Our lungs to clean our blood and pump it around all in our bodies. What that got to do with trees, I said. Well, said Alfred, they do say that the trees are the lungs of the earth. They to purify the air that we breathe. They get rid of all the poisons in the atmosphere. And where do all the trees get their energy to do that? It must come from somewhere, and I reckon it must come from the earth. My soul and body. I'd never heard Alfred talk so knowledgeable in all my life. I didn't know that he was so long-headed. I reckon he'd been reading the grandchildren's school books. That's all very well, Alfred, I said, but do you really believe that if you hugged a tree, you would feel it throbbing? We could try, Sarah Ann, he answered. Next time we'd go up Trengwynton Gardens. I thought that's safe enough. He's bound to forget by the time we get up there. We'd dearly like catching the bus up to Trengwynton. The gardens are handsome in the spring, with all the camellias blooming, and you can catch a rich cup of tea and a lovely bit of cake in the tea room. We'd like to sit in the sun and hark to the birds. Well, one day last week, it was so lovely and sunny and mild that we decided to go. Didn't need no big coats. It was warm enough for our thick woolly jumpers and our light macks in our handbag. It was beautiful. Sky was blue, the birds were singing, and the trees and flowers were lovely. You could only feel some fortunate to be able to be there. We sat down on one of the seats. Then Alfred said, "Come on, Sarah Ann. You know what we was going to do when we come up here. Next, we were going to hug a tree. We can't do that day. There's too many people about. We shall only look daft," I told him. "There ain't many people here at all," says he, "and we can go where we can hear anyone coming on the gravel path." So, feeling bram foolish, we went round and found our trees. Know what sort of tree I was hugging, but it felt quite cool and rough at first, but then I got used to it. "All right, Harry," I shouted to Alfred. "If you weren't quiet, you wouldn't hear nothing," he said back. "I can't in any case," I replied. "Give him a chance to work," he said. So I shut up and concentrated. In a bit of while I felt quite comfortable with my arms round the tree, leaning my face against the trunk. It was very peaceful. You could hear the sounds in the tree, little bits of leaves dropping, the birds flying round and singing. I don't know how long we stayed there, but the peace was broken when we heard a family coming along the gravel path. We jumped away from our trees as if we was criminals and pretended to be looking at the flowers. Well, we did feel a bit embarrassed about it. After the family had passed us by, we heard one of the children say, "Do you think that old lady and gentleman had fallen down, Mummy? Their fronts were all covered in leaves and moss and earth." And when we looked at each other, Alfred and me found we were lagged. Our get jumpers were covered in moss and bits of ivy, and our hair and heads were thick with bits of leaves and twigs. We couldn't get the moss out of our jumpers till we got home and took a brush to 'em. Well, I did feel the earth throb. I don't know about that, but I do know that as I stood there with my arms around the tree trunk, just listening to the sounds of nature, I felt as if I was back to when I was a child playing amongst the trees up Bejowan Woods, chasing the sunlight amongst the trees, happy without a care in the world. I might even try it again. Why don't you have a go? Go on, hug a tree. You might feel the earth throbbing. Only make sure you choose a tree that isn't covered with moss and ivy. Now this one is by David Prowse. Say one for me. When I'm down on my haunches, at war with the weeds, I can bet with a confident air that sooner or later I'll hear someone call, "Hey, say one for me while you're there." It's a slice of light humour I acknowledge in kind, with a wave and a smile on my face, yet often there's more than a semblance of truth in what they suggest is the case. What else would I do with these human constraints, with my limited talent confers, but pray for a miracle time after time, and time after time it occurs. From the smallest of seeds, from the tiniest corn, from a speck that the eyes barely see, comes tangible, burgeoning, beauteous life, owing little or nothing to me. I never designed or created its form, nor penciled the veins on its leaves, or fashioned its petals like butterfly wings, enfolded in chrysalis sleeves. Mine is the labour and mine is the faith, but mine is the ultimate debt. Alone, I have only the tools of my trade, and all I need is the help I can get. So the next time you see me with knees on the ground, attending to business affairs, walk lightly, speak softly, make believe you're in church. The gardener is saying his prayers. Thank you very much.